PCN is brought to you in part by the following underwriters.
Welcome to PCN, local stories from Duxbury, Kingston, Pembroke, and Plymouth. We have a great show tonight, including Mindful Moments with Leslie Cutler, who gives us tips for dealing with holiday stress.
PCN brings you stories on the popular community in downtown Plymouth, as well as a community pie-making group in Kingston.
Both the Plymouth and Cape Cod Chambers of Commerce collected hundreds of toys for needy kids, and we bring you to the event.
Our Design Corner brings us holiday design tips, and Health and Wellness gives us benefits of yoga from Plymouth Fitness.
We begin with a story from both Plymouth 400 and the Wampanoag tribe, who were in Mashpee for an important unveiling. PCN recently headed over to Mashpee, to the Wampanoag Government Center, for the unveiling of a short film entitled The Messenger Runner. It was part of a multimedia exhibit as the tribe has teamed up with the Plymouth 400 to share the Wampanoag tribe's history in their native voice as part of the 2020 commemoration.
In past commemorations, the Wampanoag tribe has either not been invited, not been present, or their story's been told by someone else. Early on, this board of directors, the Plymouth 400 board of directors, decided that this was going to be the centennial anniversary when that changes. So this exhibit is the first of many interactions, Wampanoag interactions with the 400th. But this exhibit really tells the story of what was happening prior to the coming of the Pilgrims and the Mayflower. The entire exhibit has been completely created and designed by a group of Wampanoag people who are designers and historians and interested in the community. And so the entire thing has been told in the Wampanoag voice, which is precisely how we want to proceed with the rest of this. So the video display really shows what the messenger runner's day was like. And so the messenger runner takes the message, and in the video we see him running, and he continues to run, and then at the end of the video there's a very special moment, and it's a message that the Wampanoag people are telling to the world.
It sort of came to me that, you know, we need to make this really impactful, that we need to, you know, not just show that our runners were strong runners, you know, 400 years ago, but that we're still a viable people. We're still a viable tribe. Obviously, we have acknowledgement by the federal government, and now we have land and trust, and all of these wonderful things have happened to our people, but just being able to say that we are still here, I think was a really impactful. It kind of punctuates everything that has happened for us over the last several years, and it's been a hard-fought battle. We are still here.
What a great story. It's so nice that the Plymouth 400 is bringing so much of the history of this area to light, and the Wampanoags are obviously a massive part of our history.
Oh yeah, it was great. Really well-made video, and just an awesome presentation. I went in, you know, and I'm from the Cape, and I didn't even realize this place was there. It was a really nice facility and just an awesome display, so it was really cool to be part of that story.
Great.
The community came together this holiday season in Kingston to make pies. Volunteers ranged from Girl Scouts to seniors. The talent was in the pie making, but the best feeling was brought out when everyone worked together to add some sweetness to the lives of the people in need over the holidays. PCN stopped in to meet the organizers and find out how they pull this annual event together.
Tonight we're doing the second annual pie making event. The pies are going to the Food Distribution Center in Plymouth. I'm the food resources manager there, and I provide food to 45 food pantry soup kitchens, homeless shelters, and backpack programs in the greater Plymouth food area.
The Locavores last year joined with the Plymouth Area Food Pantry to make some pies, and we weren't sure how many we were going to make or who was even going to show up to make them in November, and it turned out to be this really wonderful event where people kept turning up and made enormously beautiful pies with such generosity of spirit. It was like Santa's elves coming out early in the season to make pies for other people, and I simply had to be part of it again.
The pies we're making tonight are going to be transported to the Greater Plymouth Food Distribution Center, and through them they will go out to families throughout the South Shore.
We're making two different pies. We're making a Swedish apple pie, which I guess is a very traditional pie for Thanksgiving. The second pie we're making is the double crust apple pie, which again is a very traditional pie that's served at Thanksgiving. So two different pies.
Oh, people come for two reasons that I can discern. And one is they love baking, they love making apple pies, or they just love the reason we're doing it. They love the idea that what we're making tonight will go to fill people's homes with the scent of apple pie on Thanksgiving Day.
People are just really excited about the program. Like one woman was saying, it sort of starts her holiday season. She's been really looking forward to it. She did it last year. And it's just really a lot of fun because you know you're really giving back more than just, you know, a can of corn. You know, they put a lot of love into each pie. They decorate them. They put little leaves on the top and really put a lot of thought and effort into it, knowing that that love is then going to go to people who really need the, you know, the pies. It's cool.
The town tree in the center of Plymouth has been lit up, and if you look closely, you'll see some interesting ornaments on display. It was all part of Frank Mann's idea for a community, which showcases the many community groups and nonprofits we have here in town. Brian has brought us the story.
It might be tucked away in the town square off of Main Street, but you'd have to try pretty hard not to see the enormous tree out in front of the First Parish and the Church of the Pilgrimage. What's being called the community is the bold concept of local reporter Frank Mann. The idea came to him after attending the Sunrise 365th event at the Plymouth Plantation.
I came here after that event and I noticed the tree here, and I didn't think much was being done with it. It had lights on it. Thought it could be done better, and thought maybe it would be an opportunity to again highlight the contribution, the importance of community groups.
Looking at the ornaments on this tree, you'll see that it's not just community groups, but the names of people who may have passed that really represented that community spirit here in the town of Plymouth. You'll see names like Wedge in honor of Wedge Bramhall, Alba for Alba Thompson, the first woman elected to the Plymouth Board of Selectmen, Peter Gomes, the famed Harvard minister. Even the word terrific is up there in honor of David Rushforth. The rest are community groups and nonprofits.
I just thought it'd be a wonderful, in the spirit of the season, way to highlight all those groups, to have them make an ornament, put it on the tree so people would both see a beautifully decorated tree, kind of very homey tree, but also be able to recognize who those groups are. And those groups could also come out and celebrate the work they do.
Initially, the idea was slow to get off the ground, but we filmed on the deadline day for groups to get their ornaments in, and there really wasn't much room left for anyone. This project was perfect for someone like Frank Mann. He really embodies the community spirit. It seems like wherever he is in this town, people seem to know him.
Hey, dude.
All right.
There's one of the important guys. The guy just came by is Carl Lovendale. He's a DPW worker, went up in the cherry picker and did all the decoration. And that was, spent like 4 hours up in a cherry picker to do that.
That might just explain how they got such a choice spot on this tree. As it stands now, there are roughly 80 ornaments, a number that's likely to grow if this becomes a yearly tradition.
This is going to happen every year now, and we're going to retain a lot of these ornaments. Some people will take them back and rethink what they did, because some may not last through the winter, but it's going to happen every year, and next year we'll probably have 150 ornaments.
By the time this story airs, they'll already have done the lighting of the tree, but all the ornaments will still be on there right through the winter. From downtown Plymouth, I'm Brian Sullivan for PCN.
Brian, that was a great story, and Frank Mann brings so much to our community all the time.
Yeah, he's a hot ticket. I've done so many stories now for PCN, and I swear he's on about 90% of them. And he's a great resource. So if there's ever anything that I may not know, I can just come to him for answers. So a lot of the information that we got about the stuff in the tree, I mean, he was able to, I'm like, hey, what does that name mean? What does that mean? And he just, like I said, he knows everybody.
He knows the
in town.
history.
He's
sure
awesome.
does.
Frank's great to work with. The Cape Cod Canal Region Chamber of Commerce and the Plymouth Area Chamber teamed up for the first time to help out with the Toys for Tots program, and it was a great success. Folks recently piled into the East Bay Grill to socialize, listen to some music, and donate lots of toys for kids and families in need. PCN stopped in as well.
Myself and Alan Costa, we put this together with our B&I group, with Plymouth B&I, back 5 years ago. And we were donating every year to a different cause. I brought up, let's donate to Toys for Tots. We did it, and then he and I decided, you know what, let's see if we can get this even bigger. So we contacted all the B&Is in the area and asked them to participate, and started having it here at East Bay Grill. And it's turned out to be a tremendous opportunity.
This is an event primarily to raise donations for Toys for Tots. We ask people to come, bring a brand new unwrapped toy for a boy or girl. All of it gets distributed to needy children throughout the local area. And people just come and bring something, and they have a great time, and it's a fun event. It is a national organization, but it's all raised on a local level. All of these toys will end up in the Cape area at a distribution center, and then will be redistributed back in this area.
I know that they had this here last year, but this is the first time we really did a concerted effort to really promote this regionally. So we cover the towns of Bourne, Sandwich, and Wareham. We thought we would cover that as well as Plymouth and really have it a regional approach, get as many people as possible, get as many toys as possible.
This is the first time we've teamed up for this event, but we've teamed up for many other events, Women Mean Business events, joint business after hours events. Maria Leva from the Cape Canal Chamber is a wonderful person to work with, and we always enjoy partnering with them.
This is an effort among all people, so it takes a partnership with everybody, and the bottom line is that the children benefit, and that's the important thing.
It's a great networking event, and mostly, as people have said, they renew acquaintances with people they haven't seen in many years, as well as getting together with new people they haven't met before. So it's a win-win in every situation.
Design Corner is back with some holiday decorating tips with our special friends at Setting the Space.
Hi, Sue Shockley here from Setting the Space for PCN's Design Corner, and today we're going to talk about non-traditional Christmas decorating ideas that are easy peasy. So let's begin with our foundation, which is our lovely garland. We're going to begin to layer in, and I'm going to give you some tips that are very cost effective to make an absolutely beautiful display. In the fall, go outside with a pair of clippers and start clipping from your hydrangea bushes or any bush that you know is going to dry really well. They make fabulous fillers for all your garlands, your wreaths, and your Christmas tree. So you can create this whole theme that's going to tie all of your Christmas decorating, and it's just going to flow. So this year we have a beautiful blue hydrangea bush, and all the colors, it has a little bit of the purple, a little bit of the green. And so we begin to just plop them in, and there's no rhyme, no reason. You do not have to be a floral designer to do this. This is easy peasy, remember? So as you can see, just begin to fill them in all over. And then you just step back. What do I need? What else do I need? You know what? This year I want to kind of keep it clean, and I'm going for the white, so it's a little bit more of a neutral. And so what we did is I bought a dozen roses, some white mums, and just added the fresh flowers in. And as they kind of shrivel up a little, it actually adds to the ambience of this piece. But then the centerpiece, we have this, you know, kind of funky head here, but you can use anything. You can use ceramic, you can use glass, and height is always important. So in the center part, we have this beautiful height. We did purchase these at your local craft store, but you could, again, save money. Just go out and clip some of those bushes, the stems, and just fill it up and then you're done. Voila. The one thing I want to bring your attention to is that we didn't use traditional red and green. Remember, I said non-traditional. So this year, it just flows. You can pick any color palette you want, if you want it to match what you have going on, if you wanted purples, if you wanted reds, or you could just go with any color that would make you happy. That's the whole thing. Have fun, easy peasy.
Our health and wellness segment brings us some benefits of yoga from our friends over at Plymouth Fitness.
Hi, I'm Anna Tansey at Plymouth Fitness with your PCN Health and Wellness segment. Yoga is an ancient practice which dates back thousands of years, originating in India. Yoga literally means union, so it's creating a relationship, a oneness with the body and mind. There are many different styles of yoga. You'll see them differently in a health club setting or in private yoga studios. What I'll illustrate today with Jen is commonly known as Hatha Yoga, in which you pair a breath with a posture. Child's pose is a very common pose you'll find in just about every yoga practice, every yoga class. It's meant to be a restorative pose, one that generally starts a practice, one that you can also use between postures. What this will do is create length in the spine. It will release some shoulder tension and tension in the low back as well. You'll also want to pair your breath while you're in child's pose. Down dog, which again you'll commonly find in most yoga practices. It involves being inverted, so it's similar to a dog lifting their hips up while their head is down. Some of the benefits of doing down dog is to open up the shoulder girdle. Again, using the breath here, concentrating and opening the hips a bit and the hamstrings and the back legs. Warrior One is a posture that will help folks to create better balance in their life and in the posture itself. It'll also help to open up the hips, and you're also keeping the heart and shoulders open, so there should be a sense of opening in the whole body. These postures are just a few simple postures that you'll commonly find in a class, but that you could also do at home. And the benefits of yoga are endless, but mainly you'll definitely feel more strength, flexibility, and balance in your body and life. Thanks for watching. I'm Anna Tansey, and this has been your PCN Health and Wellness segment.
We are happy to bring back psychotherapist Leslie Cutler with her second installment of Mindful Moments. Welcome, Leslie.
Thank you so much, Julie. It's great to be here.
It's great to have you, and this is a perfect time of year to talk about the holiday stress.
Absolutely.
And you've come up with 5 kind of major pointers for us to talk about.
Yes,
So your first one being, don't expect miracles.
Yes, well, we're all a bit guilty of this. Let me tell you, this season tends to be much more stressful than restful overall. So in looking at your own family and your own family systems, this is not the time to expect enormous emotional breakthroughs.
Okay.
And truly, it's a hectic season, it's a busy season. Really try to be somewhat forgiving to those around you, understanding that it's a very volatile time of year for many people, and perhaps putting aside some of the challenging feelings that you might have or anxiety towards those in your circle.
Right, and the less you expect, the less you'll be disappointed.
Absolutely.
Okay.
That's very true. And which goes along with our second one, which is set expectations.
Okay.
And I think that this is very important, especially when dealing with children. Granted, there are so many different types of activities that you could do. There are so many things that children want this time of year. So be open with them and be real. Okay, there are only so many hours of the day. This is what we have. How do we want to spend our time? And also, if your kids are old enough, there's only so much money.
Right.
Let's look at what we have. And, maybe this is a good time to talk about budgeting and how to spend your money in a wise way. I know it's easier said than done, but just setting that stage can make a lot of difference.
Right. And even instead of spending money on a thing, you might spend money on an event or something you do together.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Perhaps even in January when things slow down and people have a little bit more time to connect in a deeper way.
So a promise for something to come is also a wonderful gift.
Absolutely.
Acknowledge your feelings is number 3. What do you mean by that?
Well, I think this one is really important. I think a lot of individuals struggle with sadness this time of year. Based upon the expectations that we were talking about, but it's also a time where a lot of unresolved grief tends to surface as well. Those who have lost loved ones, you know, those who are just in complicated times of their life where they can't see a whole lot of clarity. So this is the time that you're really going to try to cling to the things in life that work for you.
Right.
The close friends, when you're feeling overwhelmed, they're the ones that you go to. That creative outlet, music, art, whatever it is to sort of lift your spirits and to hold tight to that this time of year.
Right, very important.
Absolutely. Also,
I love this one. Number 4, this is my favorite.
Yes, practicing forgiveness.
Right.
Understanding we're all in this together. There are none of us that aren't struggling to manage our time. You know, also accepting people as they are. Sometimes bygones have to be bygones.
Yeah.
It's okay. We're all coming from the same place.
Right. Take a deep breath and just concentrate on what you're thankful for.
And what you're grateful.
And what you're
Gratitude
grateful
is
for.
everything. Absolutely.
Right. And your 5th is take care of yourself, which is a really difficult thing sometimes to do at this time of year.
Absolutely. And it's my own personal challenge as well, I have to admit. I know we were talking a little bit about this before, but it's very easy to forget your own needs and feelings this time of year. I mean, we're doing, you know, a month's worth of stuff in a couple of weeks.
Right.
And, you know, there's all types of celebratory eating. You know, we're trying to fit in every single family tradition so
Right.
we're not sleeping. You know,
Right.
it's madness.
Yeah.
So this is where I tell people, you know, mix it up a little bit. If you have kids or you have a significant other, even on your own, get up, get outside, take a winter walk. This will raise your serotonin level, move you out of that sedentary place.
Right.
Perhaps pull your kids off of their iPads or TV and, you know, get them away from some of the influence that they're having from advertisers and just, you know, being together and spending some time together. I know this sounds very basic, but stopping each day to do some deep breathing is going to make all the difference in the world. You know, breathing in serenity, spitting out,
Right.
and, you know, releasing the stress within you.
Yep.
It just allows you that clarity so that you can approach the holidays in a way that doesn't feel completely overwhelming, and then you lose the joy of what the season is truly all about.
Exactly. And in our last half a minute, what about making resolutions for the new year? How important is that?
You know, I think a lot of people struggle in keeping those resolutions. You know, it's a time to start thinking about perhaps the changes in perspective that you would like to incorporate. But I find when people tend to make solid resolutions, they sometimes have a hard time carrying them through to
Right,
completion.
right.
So it should be almost a day-to-day thing of incorporating small change on the day-to-day.
Get into the habit of doing it every day of the year. Yes,
Absolutely.
yes. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Julie.
This has
It's
been
wonderful.
wonderful. Less stress now for the holiday. Thanks to you, Leslie.
Thank you.
This puts us in a really good state of mind as we see loved ones over the holidays and people we haven't seen for a long time. Thank you for watching. In the next 2 weeks, we'll have a few special PCN shows looking back at our year. Next week is Producer Favorites, where each of our producers talked about the favorite story that they worked on. The week after, we'll bring you our biggest YouTube hits stories from 2015. Check out our website for information and links, and follow us on social media for updates. We'll be back in the new year with more community stories from the South Shore. Happy holidays and Happy New Year from all of us at PACTV Community News.